Today's cake was inspired by my sister because it's her birthday. And so one thing that I love to do when it comes to my family birthdays is I love to think outside of the box a little bit of what they loved or what they love to do, whatever it may be. And one core memory that I have with my sister is I would always catch her watching Winnie the Pooh, no matter how old she was. Even when she was 18, I just remember her watching a bunch of episodes of Winnie the Pooh. And so today I wanted to bring that to life for her, but I will be completely honest. I'm always up for a challenge, but I did attempt a 3D cake back in December, and there is no video or pictures of it. And there's a reason why, because it was a complete disaster. And so it was a lesson learned. And so anything that I learned from that cake is that, first of all, I would absolutely highly recommend using straws or dowels to help with the structure of the cake. At least before, so when it firms up, you need to have something holding it. So when it goes in the fridge, it has some kind of structure. And then once it's cold and firm, then you can kind of wiggle with it a little bit more. And so my game plan was to make the body, and that is this right here. So I put a second coat of frosting on it just to smooth it out. And then I made a cake pop dough for my arms and legs. And the reason for that is because I personally don't like it when I have to use a bunch of fondant or modeling chocolate. And so I figured a lot of people would enjoy a cake pop dough versus the fondant. And so to make cake pop dough, all you have to do is mix a little bit of buttercream with your cake, and you just make it into more of like almost like a Play-Doh texture. And so I use that for the arms, legs, and ears, and then right here on the nose a little bit, just to give it a little bit more structure, because I was just a little nervous about carving it. And so it worked like a champ. And so my game plan is I put all the skewers in and the structure, and then I put it in the fridge. And so this morning it was solid. And so then I actually changed my game plan a little bit again. I was initially planning on covering my entire cake with fondant, but I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I don't like fondant, and I feel like the majority of people don't like it either, and they just rip it off anyways. So I figured, why not show you guys what we can do with our buttercream that I preach so much about? And this is exactly what I did. I used an acetate paper to smooth it out as much as I could, because it helps with those grooves, because the spatula is a little bit more complicated. But then I went in with my spatula and I got it hot, and I just honestly smoothed it out as much as I possibly could. And then I went in with my piping tips and I piped on all the extra colors. I will tell you that I believe it's called a piping coupler. And so if you're using more than one tip for one color, then I highly recommend using that. It's just a little thing that you put at the bottom of your piping bag, so you can switch out all of your piping tips with ease. And then right here, I'm going to be brutally honest. I was 30 minutes late to my sister's lunch already, and my cake had been sitting out for so long. So I was super nervous about it, but I had to have the honey pot. There was no exception. And so I busted it out as fast as I possibly could. And so it's not my best work, but Pooh had to have his honey pot regardless. And so I honestly rushed and just piped on the word honey because I had to. And you guys, it turned out so cute. I was so happy with the result. I wish I could have put it in the fridge for another hour, but I didn't. And she loved it. So it was perfect.